Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here, and I'm so excited to show you my new reversible Skeletor bracelet. I named the Skeletor because for some reason when I looked at it initially, I thought of bones and like an x-ray where you can kind of see like the skeletals in the human body. And yeah, so that's what I thought of when I seen this side here. I also love this side, how it looks like a spiral kind of is wrapping around in the middle. Super cool. Totally love it. Again, this is reversible, so you can flip it over and wear it on this super cute side as well. I don't really know what is the front or back, but I guess this could be the back of the bracelet. Doesn't really matter. But this bracelet took me 150 bands to make. That can vary, of course, depending on your wrist size. But yeah, I definitely love this. It's kind of like a little early Halloween bracelet in my opinion. When I was trying to come up with the design, I had a couple different prototypes and could not decide between two of them. They're very similar, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and film both of them because I couldn't choose which one I liked better. So that one I named Skelly, and you will see that posted shortly after this one posts. So just keep an eye out for that. And without wasting your time any further, let's get it started. To make this bracelet, you will need 3 looms if you want it to fit around your wrist, because we're going to use 8 bar pins. You can do it with just the 4 bar pins here, but then you would need a transfer or extension. Have the bar pins align like so. And if you're using all 8, just have the other 4 in front of these ones. Also, you will need 2 C-clips for this bracelet and 1 hook. So to get started, I'm going to be using black for my border bands, and then I'll have green, red, and white. Okay, so grab 2 bands of whatever color you're going to be using for your border, and we're just going to sit them on this pin here. And we're going to sit another 2 here on the middles. So 2 bands, we're just going to sit them on there. Grabbing my other 2 bands, sitting them there. That's going to be for later. Grab 2 more of the same color border band that you're going to be using. And we're going to lay 1 on the right side and 1 on the left side. Going out to the right and coming out to the left, like so. So that's how we're going to do right now with our border band color. Now you're going to want to grab whatever color you're using in the middle that makes that like spiral wrap look. So I am going to use white, and we are going to lay a horizontal band in the middle here, like so. And we're going to actually do that all the way up the loom. So it's super easy. Now for my wrist size, I stop, if I'm using the 8 bar pins like this, I stop with 4 bar pin, or excuse me, wow, I'm getting so tongue-tied. I leave 4 pins empty for this bracelet to fit my wrist. So I make sure that after laying my last horizontal band, there are 4 without anything on it. And it fits my wrist perfect. I'm going to have to move this over a little bit because of my camera. So sorry about the angle for a moment. But this part's so easy. Just 1 single band in the middle. Okay, so I just leave my last one, and then I have 4 empty ones. And again, you may need to adjust according to your wrist size. So now I would go ahead and just push them down a bit so that you can add our next bands on. And I haven't said it yet, but this bracelet I do believe is very simple to make for the most part. Okay. Now we are going to grab, I'm going to use green for this part. You're going to grab whatever color you want to be, like the dashes on the back side of the bracelet. And wrapping here. So, because I'm doing this exact replica. So, the green here is what I'm laying right now. And we're going to be laying these bands in like a diagonal pattern. So, we're going to stretch it from this white down. And everything we do on the left side, we have to do on the right side. And now we're going to go up to the next one. So basically every white one should have the green coming down off of it. Like so. Doesn't really matter if you go left to right or right to left for this part because these bands are not touching any other ones, so it doesn't really matter in which order you go. Okay, so that's what we're going to do all the way up until you reach your last white horizontal band. So just make sure they're all coming off of each one until you reach the top. And I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I did go ahead and finish laying all of my diagonal bands. So this is what it should look like so far. Here's the top of mine. So go ahead and push down your bands if you haven't done so already. So now we can start adding our next set of bands. And a train's getting ready to go by. It's going to be loud, sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the color that is in there that is red. So you can see it more on this side. So whatever color you want to use for that part is what we're going to add now. I'm sticking with red because I'm doing that exact same bracelet. And all we're going to do for this part is we're going to add a single chain border on these two middle pins. So just like the green bands, it does not matter if you go left to right or go all the way up the left side and all the way up the right side. As long as your pins are facing away from you and you're doing one after another, it doesn't matter. Whatever's easier for you. For the sake of the camera, I'm just going to kind of go back and forth here. The band placement for this bracelet is just so super easy. I was thinking of my masquerade bracelet when I was making this because it seemed like a lot of people really liked that design. So I was trying to stick with something similar, and voila, I came up with this and my Skelly bracelet. Almost there. Okay, reach the top there. So now I am going to add on my border bands. So go back to the beginning, grab whichever color you're going to use for the border, and we are going to start on the outside pins and go forward. And just like we did the red, we're going to make a single chain border up the sides. Doesn't matter if you do the left or right here either. You can do whichever. Just don't skip any pins by accident. Just pushing my loom all over the place tonight. And if you're already ahead of me, of course, you can just go ahead and fast forward to the next step. Okay, when you get to the very top, you're just going to bring that very top one into the center. Whoops. And do the same on the left side. Bring that in like that. So that is what your loom should look like. Okay, so I turn my loom around. And the last thing that we need to do is add a cap band onto these two front pins here. And I use the same color as what I use for my border. So just a regular cap band on both of those two front ones. And then make sure you do push your bands down a little bit so you have room for your bands to go on. So the first thing we're going to do is go on the left side, and we're going to bring that very top band out to the left. Sorry, my hand is completely blocking that. And now we're going to do the same on the right side. Everything that we do to the left side, we're going to need to do to the right side. So now we're just going to loop up the red. So the two middle single chains, we're just going to loop up. So you can completely go all the way up one side and then come back and do the right side. For the sake of the camera, I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. Doesn't really matter too much what doesn't matter at all, I should say, which side you do first for this part. It's super easy. It's just a normal single chain. Just make sure if you're going like left to right like I am, make sure you don't accidentally leave a band not looped. And just do that until you reach the very top. slowly but surely I'm getting there. And I am getting to the last one. Okay. So for the very last one, you just loop the very last ones forward, just like you did the rest of them. And now I like to just kind of push them down a little bit before I start looping my next bands, because I don't like trying to squeeze my bands onto the pin. Okay, so once we've done that, we're actually now going to do our border bands. So I guess we technically could have done that at the same time, but this is just how I prefer to do it. So now we're going to go ahead and do the black, or whatever color, whatever color you used for your outsides. So we've already done the two front ones. So now I'm just going to go to the left and loop that up. And this is the same thing that we just did in the middle, just doing a single chain loop up the sides. And since this is so super easy, I'm just going to go off camera and do this really quick. So go ahead and loop up the left, and then come over here to the bottom right and loop all the way up. And just make sure you stop though when you get right here. And we will do this last band last. Like, don't do that now. We'll do that at the end of the bracelet. Alrighty guys, so I finished up looping my side bands. Remember, just leave these top two until the end. So your loom should look like this, basically 4 single chains looped right now. I would take a moment to push down your band some. And now we're going to go ahead and continue looping. So now what we're going to do is loop up all the green. This bracelet, if I haven't said it already, I believe is pretty easy to make. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, which is what I like. But we're going to start by going in this bottom first left pin, grab onto that green band, and you're just going to stretch it up to where it originally came from. And we're going to do that to all the greens. So just go in and pull it up. And just like the other parts of the bracelet that we've already done, you can go up one side and then back to the other, or you can kind of go back and forth. Really doesn't matter, but just make sure you go inside the cap band and stretch it up to where it came from. So everything we do on the left, we have to do on the right. But the step after this, we are going to have to do like one at a time. So go ahead and loop all your diagonal bands up on the left and the right, like I'm doing right here. And I will loop mine up, and we will meet back up here in a moment. Okay, so now I am done looping all my diagonal bands up like that. So now we are going to come back to the very beginning again. And you don't have to worry about pushing your side ones down, but I would push down these red ones a little bit if they're sticking up a little bit, because we're going to be placing bands on there. So the first thing that we're going to do is, well, let me just explain quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to be grabbing the bottom bands from inside each pin. We're going to be grabbing the bottom bands of the greens and bringing them back to this pin here. But we have to do one at a time, because after we do that, then we then have to loop the white. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. So first, I like to start on the left. We're going to go inside this pin here on the left, push back the top bands and grab that bottom band, so for instance my green, and just pull it back down and reattach it directly under that pin here, but like diagonal. We're going to do the same to the right, so just push back the band, make sure you're going in the pin, push back the cap band, grab the green, and bring it down. So it should look like that. And now we're going to loop this white. We're going to loop the left up here to the right side, and we're going to come in here to the bottom right and loop it up to the left, which creates that cross look, or that spiral look in the bracelet. So make sure you go inside that pin, grab that white, bring it up to the left. Coming inside the bottom right one, grab the white, stretch it up to the left. And make sure that you stay consistent. If you always start on the left, do that all the way up the bracelet, because it will affect the way that the bracelet lays. Okay, so now we're going to come up to these 2 pins here. We're going to go inside the bands, grabbing that bottom green again, bringing it down. Come on the right side, go in the pin, grab that bottom band, bring it back down. It should lay on top of the white that we just looped a second ago. Once you loop that green, we're now going to go inside these bands and make sure you push back the red as well. Grab that white, bring it up to the left. Coming onto the right side, push back all the top layers of bands. Grab that bottom band, bring it up to the left. We're going to do that again. So we're going to come up, grab that bottom green, bring it down. Coming over to the right, do the same thing. Swing it down. Go in your left, grab that white band and bring it up. Just don't forget to cross it over. Bring this to the left. So that's what we're going to do, going all the way up the bracelet. I mean up the loom. I'm just going to sit my loom back down now that you guys probably have a good idea of what I'm doing. And I'm really sorry if my hand gets really close to the camera and like all up in your view. Okay, so that's what you're going to do all the way up the bracelet. So, I mean, I keep saying bracelet, all the way up the loom until you reach the top. So I'm going to go off camera, finish looping mine, and then once I get towards the top, I'll come back and finish it up with you guys. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am at the top of my loom. So you're just going to do the same thing we've done for the remainder of the loom. go in and grab the bottom band, loop it back down, do the same on the right side. Gonna grab our white from inside that pin, bring it up to the right and up to the left. And now we can go ahead and loop our very top bands that we had left from the border band from the beginning. So just push that down a little bit. It doesn't really matter which side you do first. Now I'm going to grab the left first. Bring that into that pin. Do the same on the right side. Bringing it into the right. And now I had you guys lay bands there in the beginning. There should be 2 on each of these pins. So grab a hold of them from the outside. Sorry, I'm kind of out of view for a second. And you may want to have a C-clip ready, because as you pull each one through, you're going to want to attach your C-clip. And I wanted to use 2 monster tail C-clips because they're bigger, but I can't find my other one. So I guess I'm going to have to use one big one and one small one. Oh, there it is. Okay. So grab one side with your left hand, or, one of your hands, and then go inside, push back all the top bands, grab onto those 2 bands, pull up a little, but not too hard, and that's going to wrap around all those bands. Place the bands on your hook like that, so you now have 4 bands, and you need to attach your C-clip onto those 4 bands, but be very careful. You do not want to lose those bands. And if it pops off the loom, that's okay. Now we're going to do the same on the right side. So grab both of your bands from the outside, if I can find it. Where are you, band? Okay. Once again, go inside, grab those 2 bands, pull it up some, and then attach the other 2 bands on your hook. And that's where we're going to attach our other C-clip. If you find that it's a little too tight for your C-clip, or you just don't want it that tight for some reason, you can certainly only use 1 band. You don't have to do 2 bands. I do 2 bands because it makes it a lot tighter. So that's what you do there, and then you can just kind of pop that off of the hook. And that may look a little funny up there until you clip it, so don't worry about that once you're taking it off. So to take it off of the loom, I just pop it off the sides with my hook. I feel like it helps it look a little cleaner. Once you start getting it off, you can kind of pull up. That's actually why I do it, because that top one does get stuck. But just go all the way down and pop them off like this. That way you're not stretching at any of those greens off if it gets caught by pulling on it. And then once I have all my sides released, then I get a good grip at the base of my bracelet and I pull up. Alrighty, so there you have my completed Skeletor bracelet. I absolutely love how this came out. I think it is so cute and it's clean looking. I don't know. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. So before I go on rambling too much, you're just going to go on to the other side, and you're not going to clip it onto the end bands that are sticking out. There are the 2 cap bands from the beginning in the middle. So just grab each side, grab your cap band that's in the middle there, and attach. Do the same on the right side. Oh, missed a band. There we go. That's why I like using the double bands there. And it does kind of go in a little tighter here, but you can just pull on the border band a little. But I love this design because there's not a whole lot you have to do with it. It really comes out looking nice and clean. So there you have my completed Skeletor bracelet. I love it. I love how it looks like a spiral going down the middle. I was really, really fascinated with that when it came off the loom the first time I was messing around with it. And then the back side is super cute as well. I do stretch it out a little bit when I flip it over though, just so like this looks nice and spread out and clean. And you can see the nice design in the middle there. So yeah, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, you can tag me at Loves to Loom on Instagram if you do make this bracelet, because I would love to see your guys' creation or spin on it as well. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at my next video. Bye!